I thought about it the other day and I was thinking that a major part of me improving my life was to have less stuff, was to get less things. And therefore, I thought it was a really good idea to highlight the 9 principles that have helped me achieve a minimalistic lifestyle so that hopefully you can apply maybe some of them in order to improve your life. And the first thing that we need to understand is what is a minimalistic lifestyle. That's a trend in arts that has evolved a couple of centuries ago, if I'm not mistaken. And the goal is to use the smallest range of materials, colors, and very simple shapes or form. So basically you go straight to the point. You go for what's easiest, what's most available, what's most accessible, and you go directly to what's necessary, basically. And in those societies, especially American and Western civilization societies, going for what's necessary instead of what's superficial and needed is really important. It's even something that's going to change the way you perceive life, you see life, the decisions you're going to make on a daily basis. So let's go to the reasons why you should lead a minimalistic lifestyle in the first place. The first one is because you're going to experience less anxiety. And those things I'm talking about experience. So I draw these from my own experience as well as the experience from my clients and people I coached. Less anxiety. Why? Because you just have less things going on in your mind, in your life, in your physical environment, basically everywhere. More gratitude, because if you have less stuff, you're somehow enjoying life more because you're just enjoying the little things in life and not always trying to get more of the materialistic stuff. Deeper sense of meaning as you get rid of all the fluff. Because if you don't have the fancy car, if you don't have the fancy job, the career and everything, what's lasting is life and the relationship that you have, the small habits that you cultivate on a daily basis, all those things that make life worthwhile and an experience, sincere experience that's pleasant. Last one is clarity and peace of mind. This one is obvious because, again, you have less stuff. You have all the necessary. You don't have to worry about all those things breaking, all those things you have to replace, the things that you need in the future, things that you haven't had yet, whatever it is. So those 4 key reasons are the most important ones in my eyes, but in your case you might experience a set of different results when as a result of adopting a minimalistic lifestyle. And I thought it would be best to categorize it in 3 different sets. So the first one is physical space, second one is money, third one is mental. Let's talk and start with the physical one. Okay, so I have 3 different tenets, and I thought about explaining each one of them, taking a little bit of time to develop them. The first one is the less the better. Straight, obvious, especially when we talk about minimalistic lifestyle, and it's going to start with your physical space. So the things that are around you in your physical space, and that can be your house, your bedroom, your desk, your whatever it is on a daily basis that's surrounding you, which you have control over, the less the better. So the less stuff there is around you, the less cluttered your mind and your body and your environment is. If you feel like there's a lot of stuff around you, a lot of useless things that are surrounding you and kind of taking all the space that's around you, kind of like think about it as every little thing that's around you is costing a little bit of oxygen. Just like if you were to have more plants in your room. All those things, they're breathing, they're kind of alive, even if they're immobile. Bear with me. But the thing is that if you think about each one of those things as costing you a little bit of oxygen in the room, then you're going to get rid of all of it, the things that are not necessary. Now, when it comes to getting rid of those things, don't throw it away. Find a second person that would be using those, that would be needing those. Maybe you can give them, maybe you have a friend that would be interested in having the clothes that you don't use or whatever it is. Second, the environment is an extension of yourself. Think about your room, think about your house, think about your apartment, think about your car as being things that are the extension of your body. Meaning that it's still your environment. It's still you, a piece of you, because you're designing it the way you are within yourself, with yourself, the way you feel. But let me explain. If your car is a mess right now, if there are McDonald's everywhere on the floor, people have stepped on it, and there's, because of the snow or whatever, it's dirty, that kind of stuff. This is an extension of yourself. This is a reflection of the way you treat yourself. Because if you accept your environment as being dirty, cluttered, messy, it means that you don't care about your things. Take care of your physical environment. And that especially is true when it comes to cleanliness. And the last piece of advice when it comes to physical space in order to become more minimalistic is to become a digital minimalist. And that's really important. That's an idea that I got from the book Digital Minimalism from Cal Newport, which is an excellent book. And the idea here is that we're spending way too much time on screens. It's dictating our lives. Social media, emails, and news are the worst thing when it comes to decluttering your mind and having your mind in order. Therefore, you have to reduce drastically the amount of social media, the amount of news, and the amount of screens that you're consuming on a daily basis, because this is gonna destroy the way you think. This is going to stimulate your brain all day, every day, trigger anxiety, trigger even maybe panic attacks, trigger racing thoughts, because your mind is constantly overwhelmed by the technology that you're using. How do you become a digital minimalist? So it highly depends on your behaviors when it comes to technology. But if you're someone that is always on his laptop screen at work, and then every time there's a break or like in between bouts of work, you check your phone, you come home and you listen to a podcast in the car, you prep yourself supper, and then you go watch a Netflix movie, then there are some things that you need to get rid of. I'm not the one to make the decision for you, but you need to spend more time with yourself, with the people around you, and way less time with your screens. That's it for physical space. Now let's talk about money. The first tenet is no more stupid money. This is crucial. You don't realize the value of money when you're using it on small expenses. Meaning, when you're using money to buy a Starbucks coffee at $5, you don't realize how much money you're wasting. And that's not because you're buying a coffee for $5. Well, it kind of is, but we as humans are concentrating or focusing on the big things. So if you have to buy a car, that's something you're going to really think about. But you don't second guess the little things that you do in your life. And that's a problem, because then it becomes automatic. Then you're spending money without having to think about it. You just use your credit card, you tap on the machine, and then it just says approved, and you're good. You're good to go. But the thing is that if you're buying a coffee at Starbucks, if you're, after work, you're going to the store and you're buying a new whatever it is, new sweatshirt, new pants, new whatever. If you're going with your friends to the bar every Friday night and you're spending $50, $60, $70 there, you don't realize how much money you're wasting on things that you don't even want in the end. Because if you're looking to build a minimalistic lifestyle, it's as much about the stuff as it is about the experiences. And if those experiences are not conscious, you're not aware of what you're doing, you're not present in the moment, it's not mindful, then it's stupid money, because it's automatic and you don't even remember about it. Therefore, the money that you're using in instances where you are not present, don't use it. This is called stupid money. Now, stupid money means different things for different people. Maybe you really enjoy that Starbucks coffee, and that's okay to pay $5 for something that you enjoy, as long as you're mindful about it and you're present when you whatever, drink it or buy it. But for me, buying a coffee, $5, is a waste of my time, energy, and resources. And so I'm not going to do it. And if people think this is weird, well, whatever. For me, this is stupid money. This is not how I want to spend it. Money is a resource. It's like my time, attention, energy. And I wouldn't spend any energy wasting on things that I really don't care about. Second, live below your means. Really important too, because as long as you live above your means, you're never going to get wealthy. You're never going to get rich. You're never going to get enough money, because having enough money is not about making as much money as possible. Is to use the money that you have adequately, considering the money they're bringing in every month. So if you're bringing in $2,000, which is not a lot, but you're using only half of it every month because you cut down your expenses and you live a minimalistic lifestyle, then you might consider yourself not rich, but with enough money to go around and to be happy, because you've learned how to live below your means. And that's a skill. Don't think that you need more money than you actually do, okay? This is important. This is a skill. You can practice it, especially if you're young, because you don't have expenses for kids, the house, mortgage, the whatever it is. So take advantage of the time where you are alone in your own responsibility in order to live below your means, in order to learn how to live below your means. And that means cutting down on stupid money. That means prioritizing the things that you think are more important in your life, and just making better decisions overall when it comes to your finances. The last tenet is to develop a small but stable saving habit. The earlier the saving habit you develop, the better. Saving is about compounding money. So it's about compounding interest. It's about putting money in a bank and you invest it in long-term investments, and then you collect the fruits of your investments years, if not decades later. Developing a saving habit is, in the beginning, more important than the money that you're investing. So don't sweat the amount of money that you're investing. If you're investing $100, if you're investing $10, that's okay, because it's not about the amount, it's about the habit. If you build the habit of saving consistently what you have left off after you learn how to live below your means, then you're going to be okay in life. And this is so important. I wish someone had told me that before, because it's not about the amount of money, it's about the habit. Because the amount of money that you're gonna save is going to proportionally expand as you gain more money, as you make more better money. The last thing that we're going to talk about is the mental side of things. This is tricky, and I put it at the end because I think that most people are going to be interested in the two other ones more than this one, because, well, this one is especially important, but it's a little bit more hard to understand, to implement. Remove toxic relationships. Toxic relationships, I would say, from what I've seen, what I've heard, and what I like, the way I see life, toxic relationships are probably the biggest poison there is in life, because not only are you ruining the life of someone else, but this person is also ruining your life, because it takes two people to have a toxic relationship. If you have those relationships in your life right now, so how do you assess if it's a toxic relationship? Well, if for an extended period of time you'll feel worse after encountering or talking or exchanging with that person that you felt before, and that's a recurrent scenario, then it's probably something that's toxic. Now, there are different levels of toxicity. Doesn't mean that, like the crazy toxic relationships, but relationships can be toxic even in the smallest things, even the small exchanges. Not getting any compliments, not getting enough support, not feeling like you're being heard in your relationship. I'm not the one judging if your relationship is toxic or not. It's for you to find out. For you to find out where your relationship could be better, then you work on them. And if it doesn't work and you talk to that person, whatnot, then consider removing the relationship. Consider telling them, I really feel bad whenever I'm talking to you. And after I spoke with you, I felt even worse than I was before. And if you have those kinds of relationships, because those people, it's not like it's something new. Usually it's relationships that you've been engaged in for a lot of time, and people that you don't want to let go of. But you'd be better off removing some of those relationships. The second thing is to have less goals. I see it all the time, and that comes especially that's especially true when it comes to fitness, because the more goals you have, the less chances you have to achieve them. The more you're focused on different paths, the more you have a set of different goals that are diversified, the less chances. So have less goals, have just one goal. And when it comes to your mental progress, when it comes to minimalistic lifestyle, focus on one thing at a time. And that comes down to all those different principles that I've talked about. Don't go for all of them at the same time. Focus on just one, and turn your brain into a focus machine, into thinking about one thing at a time, and then taking care of the rest of the stuff later when that one thing has been respected for an extended period of time. And the last thing is to close the loops. That's especially true when it comes to people that are working, students, or people that have a lot of administrative stuff, or like a lot of different tasks to do. Close the loops, meaning you have to give your brain some kind of break, because it has to think about all the things that you've been doing during your day and you have to do the day after that. So if you're someone that has an agenda that's really full, instead of holding all those informations, all those dates, all those things that you have to do in your mind, in your head, put it onto paper. Do it before going to bed. I assure you, this is going to help you fall asleep 100%. Pen and paper, just right next to your bed, and then just write down bullet lists. You don't even have to go full sentences. Bullet lists of things that are on your mind, and that you need to get rid of in order to go to bed and to close the loops that are just, looping in your mind. So anyway, let me know what you think of this video. These were the 9 tenets that I think were the most important when it comes to building a minimalistic lifestyle. Again, don't go crazy. Don't try and implement all of them at the same time. So focus on one module, and then within that module, focus on one goal at a time. So one rule. Let me know what you think of this. And in the meantime, just a process. I hope this helps.